Hi guys, I'm Tom Nguyen. Tom Nguyen here. Hey, it's Tom Nguyen. Hi, I'm Tom Nugent. Tom Nguyen. Tommy Nakajima here. Hi, I'm Tom Davidson. And let's talk pro comics. Hey guys, how are you doing today? First of all, do you like my cool shirt? It is the new Blackheart shirt at ProWrestlingTees.com. And I discovered that it recently went up. I'm very proud of this new design. I just found out that it is one of the best sellers of this past week. So I'd like to thank you for supporting me and Tommaso. So please head on over to ProWrestlingTees.com, pick up a shirt. I designed a few of them, so feel free to check it out. We love you. Anyway, today's question is, what is the difference between inking and finishing? Okay? Now, there is a difference. Now, let's just talk about inking first. Inking is basically you are taking a penciler's pencil art and you are basically, the best way I've heard it described, I ripped this out from my friend Mark Stegbauer, long time ago, was that you're basically taking that art and you are redrawing it in ink. Now, redrawing it means basically you are refining the lines, you're adding necessary detail. In some cases, if the pencils are looser, you're spotting some blacks, you're kind of in charge of the shadows, maybe some of the cross-hatching. The penciler might not be so tight on the textures. That's where you come in, you kind of clean it up. In other words, you're kind of enhancing the pencils. You're adding a lot of polish to them. A very simple way to put it also is that you are basically preparing the art to make it ready for print. So, and it was especially more important back in the day than it is now, where in some cases you can go to print straight from pencils because the printing resolution, digital technology, it's a little more advanced nowadays than it was back in the days of copy. So that's what inking generally is. Finishing, on the other hand, is basically you're doing more work, you're doing a lot more drawing. So the basic way to put it is that you have, instead of a penciler and an inker, you have a guy that does layouts and you have a guy that does the finishes. It kind of is what it sounds like. So you're taking a pretty rough page and you have to finish the art. Usually when this happens, I want to say almost always when this happens, is when deadlines are very tight and we are very short on time on getting this book done. So sometimes the regular penciler will be asked, or sometimes they might ask, to submit layouts instead. Just kind of general placement of things, the composition, maybe rule some perspective lines depending on the penciler. As far as layout art is concerned compared to fully penciled art, they, in their own categories, they can range in looseness or tightness, whatever you want to call it. So, but basically, it's to help kind of speed things up. Now, a lot of it will also depend on the inker. I've always said that the best inkers are the ones that know how to draw. And when you're put in a situation where you have to help finish layouts and help speed along the production, that's where the drawing skills will help. If you are an inker that is just very slick and good with lines and feathering and cross-hatching, whatever, can make really pretty lines and not much else, I don't think doing a layout artist and a finishing artist, I don't think going that route is going to make much sense, because I don't think there's really much time saved when the inker is really trying to figure out how to make an artwork sing, but kind of lacks some drawing skills to help with that flow. So there's a couple times in my career, now I built my name as an inker first before I parlayed into other areas of illustration. But I always wanted to pencil. That was my goal, that was my dream before I even broke into comics. So my emphasis was always on drawing. So thankfully, I feel that I'm confident enough to handle the layout job, and I have done it a couple times. The very first time, actually unofficially, was during Green Lantern. It might have been during the Blackest Night, that whole saga thing, but I remember Doug Mankey came over to my house, and we literally spent the night we had a ton of pages to do that we wanted to get done the next day. So here we have a stack of pages that were just barely sketched. These are probably the these were probably the roughest layouts any inker could encounter. But I've worked over Doug for many years, and I kind of know his style, and I kind of know how he works. He is familiar with how my lines look over his. So I kind of think subconsciously we kind of play off of each other. I think maybe he might know how much to lay down, like enough for me, and how much I can kind of cover, and kind of we bounce back and forth. We actually played tag team with the pages. He would do his own little batch of layouts, and then he'd give me a couple pages of layouts, and then we would just start on it, and then after a while we just kind of switch to change it up, and then he would kind of work on what I had started. I would kind of add some pretty lines on what he had started, and we just kind of went back and forth all night on that. And the hope was, the end goal was that we'd have a printable, decent enough illustration, so then it can just be colored and go to print, and no one suspected a thing. So the best teams obviously are the ones that can blend and work well together. And I think I have those somewhere. I should throw them up in this video. The second time where I was officially doing layouts was on Catwoman over Patrick Olive, and it was a few pages I remember. One of them being a nice double-page spread, which I still own, and Pat's was fairly easy to do because his layouts were a little tighter. I mean, it was basically all there from what I recall. And I'll see if I can throw those up too. So I just kind of went in and refined it. It wasn't that much more work than when I would ink him normally. So, and then there's lots of examples of me just inking over my own layouts. When I work on my own stuff, like my graphic novel, The Switch, with Keith Champagne. A lot of it was literally me. I was drawing as I was inking. So, but in my head, I know exactly how it's supposed to look. No one knows my style better than I do, so I mean, I know what I need to do with my own lines. That wasn't very hard. And then also for a lot of the stuff, the concept art that I do for like reality TV, like Big Brother and stuff like that, I literally draw as I ink. Like I'll just do a few scribbles and I just start drawing right away. So technically that's kind of considered layouts to finishes. So I hope that you've gotten a good idea now of what the difference is between inking a page and finishing a page over layouts. If you like this video, whatever, you guys know what to do. Thumbs up, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time. Bye.